The Detroit Lions head into Week 17 with the most players on injured reserve. They have a total of 20 players on injured reserve, with 14 of them being on defense, and 6 of those players on defense are starters. And the Detroit Lions have kind of just been hanging on, putting bodies, plugging and play, man. We're putting bodies wherever they need to be. Even got Ife Melifonwu. Last week, we had to have Brian Branch just outright playing cornerback last week in Week 16 against the Bears. And we know that's what he can do, but, with losing Carlton Davis, we kind of had no choice. Not sure what's going on with Emmanuel Mosley, but the Detroit Lions can use all the help they can get. And with the loss of Aleem McNeil and the absolute non-factor that Broderick Martin is, the Detroit Lions could use all the help they can get. And that brings me to the point of today's video. This came from Ian Rappaport a few hours ago. Says the Commanders are waiving defensive lineman Phidarian Mathis, sources say, putting the former second rounder on waivers. A potential ad for a playoff team looking for depth up front. Mathis could get claimed. That is 100% facts that he could get claimed. And yes, we are looking for defensive line help up front, a potential playoff team. Now, what I hope that will not happen, and what the NFL should start doing, I don't even know if this is a rule, but if you are eliminated from playoff contention, I know this would probably make everything unfair, so they'll never do this, but there should be some type of rule where if you're eliminated from playoff contention and the person is not under contract for a number of years, extra years, then you shouldn't be able to get claimed. In this case, if that was some type of rule, then Phidarian would be able to be claimed because he is on his rookie year. Let's take a look at some of his stats. Another Washington Commanders pick that did not work out under that old regime. Drafted, first of all, he's 6'4", 312 pounds, 26 years old, from Alabama. So there's no doubt that Brad Holmes has been watching, probably has multiple film, some scouts that was specifically watching this guy. We know how Brad Holmes loves those Bama boys. Drafted in 2022, the second round pick, 47 overall. So this dude is exactly, wait a minute. He was drafted after Josh Paschal, the pick after Josh Paschal. I believe Josh Paschal was drafted in 2022 and was taken 46 overall. Wow, that's crazy. And they're both Josh is playing a little better, but wow, I didn't even notice that until right now. On the season, he has 8 solo tackles. Let's look at his game log and see, or his stats, I should say, and see what he's been able to do. Just 10 games in his rookie season. Didn't play his rookie season. He did not play his rookie season for whatever reason, played 10 games in 2023, and so far 12 games in 2024. Again, I'm not going to scoff at anyone that we get at this point, because we need all the help we can get. Now, with that being the case, the Detroit Lions, what are the odds of him clearing waivers? I don't know. I mean, Quan Alexander, he cleared waivers, and he's not horrible, right? So if this guy, the thing about him, Phidarian, is that he is under contract for one more season. So he would play out this year, and then if the team wanted to keep him next year, if they claimed him, he's on the team. So that could be kind of a deterrent for him going through waivers. A team could say, okay, we got maybe a defensive tackle that we can do some things with. You know what I'm saying? Let's grab him, and let's see what we're working with for next year as we head into 2025. But I was able to pull up some draft, combine, or some scouting information on him. Let's take a look at that. This is coming from NFL.com. His overview says, scheme versatile, wide body with long arms and solid technique at the point of attack. Well, that's more than we can say about Broderick Martin. Mathis is a Nick Saban-style run plugger. That's great news. With powerful hands and a dense anchor. He comes into the league ready for 2 gapping duties. He's more effective against downhill rush attacks than move blocking schemes, but he's more a piece of the front than a standout playmaker. I'm reading from 2 different screens here. I need to get this right in front of me. He can push the pocket on early passing plays, but it's likely to come off the field on passing downs. That's not really going to help us there. Mathis should compete for early playing time as a 4-3, 3-4 nose, or as a 5 technique. Now let's take a look at some of his strengths. Well, first of all, we need a guy that can get to the passer, but again, I'm not going to turn down anybody that we could possibly have. Named a permanent team captain for the 2021 season. Outstanding blend, these are his strengths. Outstanding blend of girth and length. Instant ground to pads, hand quickness off the snap. Will punch and separate with 2 hands or 1. Possesses 3-position versatility in odd even fronts. Harmonious hands and feet to punch and slide laterally. 2-gapper with traits to sit and fight versus downhill run game. Dense protection with bull rush or edge attack. Maintain sack viability as muddle rusher. Okay. Weaknesses: limited range away from home base, below average capturing the spot against reach block, unable to keep pace with wide flowing run game, needs a more consistent response to down blocks. Premature shed gives runners a shot to alter their tracks, takes a while to free himself from a sticky punch. Upfield rush lacks desired edge to edge quickness. Again, I'm reading this to the side. I'm trying to get a way to read it in front of me, but my screen, I'm working on these super small monitors, so I have to tilt my head, and sometimes I got the light in my way. Trust me, I know how to read. Anyway, it's just, I'm like, yo. But the Detroit Lions, right? So it sounds like he's got more potential than Broderick Martin. And I, as you guys can see, man, I'm not a fan of Broderick Martin. This is no disrespect to him, but I'm just not a fan. I think he was a wasted pick, but that's something that we could talk about a little later. And I'm going to check. Yes, he was drafted. I was right. He was drafted the pick after Broderick Martin. I'm sorry, Josh Paschal. But I'm not a fan of Broderick Martin. I'm just not. He was a wasted pick. This guy is essentially, it sounds like he's kind of a, Broderick was a reach. We traded up to get him. This guy is not, as far as I know, they didn't trade up. So it sounds like he's kind of in a very similar to Josh Paschal, kind of the same. Josh Paschal is probably had more playing time, more stats, better production. But Phidarian could be somebody that we could claim. Here's the thing. If we did claim him off waivers, then we would have his contract for next year. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at this, because as I was talking this thing through, I'm wondering if there's a way he could pass through waivers because of that contract. Of course, he's on a rookie deal. He's on his second year. Let me see. What is he supposed to get next season? Because, again, a second-round pick, him and Josh Paschal they're literally going to be making the same thing. So in 2025, he has a base salary of $1.7 million. So he's not going to make that much money. However, he could pass through waivers. Somebody might not want to pay that and commit, because you paid the rest of whatever he's owed this year, and then you would have to commit to next year. If he goes through waivers, then his contract is null and void at that point. Then you could sign him for whatever. So it's possible that he can clear through waivers. It's possible he can get claimed, and it's possible that the Detroit Lions are that team to claim him. But this is very interesting. And as I was talking, I'm like, yo, Josh Paschal, because I remember very specifically when Paschal was drafted. I don't know the pick Levi was drafted. I know Levi was taken in the second round of the same draft Aleem was, and Aleem was third. I know the draft spots, but not the pick. But Josh Paschal really stood out because he was part of the Jameson Williams trade. He was the part of how we got those. We got pick number 46 when we moved up to trade or, finagle with the Minnesota Vikings to get Jameson Williams. So that's why that sticks out to me. But like I said, it doesn't matter who you are and what position you play. I mean, real talk. But especially if you're on defense, we can use all the help we can get. Again, 20 people on IR. We have 14 of them on defense, and 6 of those 14 are starters. Now, some of those are coming back. Some are done for the season, but we need all the help we can get. So, again, with Broderick Martin not being ready, this guy looks like he's played. There's no look like it to it. He's played more snaps than Broderick Martin. Now, he won't help us getting to the passer per se, but, I mean, I don't know at this point if there's anybody really that we could get that would do that. I mean, outside of Calais Campbell, if he makes it to us, I don't know. Brad and Dan don't really seem that a D lineman to get to the passer is not what they're going to use. They're probably going to use, we saw Iffy. I mean, the first play of the game, I swear last week against the Chicago Bears in week 16, he blitzed. The very first play, almost got a sack on his first play in. That's probably what they're going to do. We're going to see Branch, Iffy, and the secondary, and maybe some linebacker blitzes, but I don't really see a D lineman that we're going to get that could come in and get to the quarterback. So, but this guy could help us stop the run. I mean, we do have the 7th ranked run defense. It's dropped a little bit since earlier in the season, but it has stayed kind of steady around that 7 range for the past month or so. So again, I'm not mad at anybody we bring in. It does not matter. We're trying to win games, right? We're trying to go all the way. And if we need one extra body, just one more body to help us do that can make one more play, and then I'm all for it. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget, I will be heading off tomorrow. You might see some pre-recorded content that I've made to kind of schedule to come out, but I will be traveling tomorrow. My day begins at 6:15 in the morning. So, well, my day begins way earlier than that. I probably won't even sleep tonight. Probably be at the airport at 4:15. My flight is at 6:15, and I will be in California in enough time to watch the Green Bay Packers face the Minnesota Vikings. So it's going to be some content on the road tomorrow. I just wanted to put that out there. But this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. The foundation has already been laid, and we continue to build it. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I'll see you